Hi, I'm Amy Avery, Chief Intelligence Officer at Droga 5, and I'm going to be going through the most famous Super Bowl ads of all time.
Hey, buddy.
Break was over 15 minutes ago, Mitch!
You know, it's funny because there's very little Reebok branding in there. There's very little attachment to Reebok. And so what a brand like that is looking at is, how do I actually then credit back the fact that I didn't talk about my brand excessively?
Richard, that ain't new, baby!
Hey, Terry.
Hey, Janice!
There's the link of it's sports and he's an athlete we sponsor, and you kind of have to discover that. But if you look at kind of how advertising works now, people love an Easter egg. People love to figure out why. So there's a little bit of curiosity of like, why is that Reebok? What did that mean?
Hey, time, baby! Woo!
So now I'm looking at Budweiser frogs, which is literally just frogs sounding out Budweiser. With Budweiser, what I think works really well is the randomness. Sometimes something sticking out because it's so odd is actually a really positive thing. You remember it because you're like, that was sort of weird. The other thing I think is really helpful is repetition is so important. As a brand, you want to make sure that your brand is either featured or said enough. For an advertiser means that when I walk in the store later, I can still hear Budweiser, Budweiser. And I take an action accordingly because that loop is still playing in my mind. Pepsi and the Cindy Crawford spot. You think that actually what you're looking at is Cindy Crawford, but every time you look at her, there's either a Pepsi machine or a Pepsi can in the background. Here, having a supermodel was actually crucial to the point of like, even a supermodel's not as attractive.
Is that a great new Pepsi can or what?
Snickers, Betty White.
Mike, you're playing like Betty White out there.
That's not what your girlfriend said.
If I'm Snickers there, my goal is to change the positioning of that product, right?
Eat a Snickers. Better?
When this came out, it's in a time and still today where people are like, I don't buy candy, that's bad for you. And if you can reposition that as something that is going to balance your life, it's, you know, them putting it in line with a protein bar or a snack that just kind of revives you, I think was their goal there.
That hurt.
You're not you when you're hungry.
One of my favorites, the Volkswagen Star Wars kid. To me, that one does a whole bunch. It's super cute because there's this little kid in this Star Wars costume and he's Darth Vader and walking around and like totally believing that he's changing everything. And you totally don't know what this ad is for, which is what makes it watchable. You're like, that's just a cute kid doing funny stuff. And then when his dad pulls in the Volkswagen and goes inside and actually does the beep so that he can actually now control the car, the kid's like, holy cow, and the parents are just inside laughing. If I had to guess, Volkswagen was coming in and saying, hey, we have a new feature that's actually really cool and actually beneficial. And it would be cheesy, right? Like as a consumer to say you could start the car remotely, you'd be like, yeah, but I'm going anyway. I don't actually need to start it. I could just get in the car. What if in fact it wasn't about that at all? It was about the power that that feature brings. So it's not telling someone the feature's there, it's the magic of the feature.